Hello and welcome back to another episode of FPL Apprentice. Still the only podcast and series that delves into the mind of one of the greatest FPL players of all time. That is, of course, former FPL world number one, Mr. Matthew Corbridge. Matthew, how are we, sir?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I am keeping well. Yeah. How are things with you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I think spoilers. I think we both suffered our first red arrow in a little while this game week, thanks to a certain Tottenham defender, which we'll come on to. But yeah, no, could have been worse, mate. Could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I think two red arrows, but your rank is still good. I think I'm just about sub a million, so it's still an okay. Well, great position for you. Okay position for me. But yeah, I think we'll do everything in one episode here, depending on the time. But I think we'll kind of like flow through it, talk about um our teams from game week 9, and then talk about some punts up until the mini wildcard that everyone gets game week 16, and then talk about our current squads. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of transfers now, and I really don't know what to do. There's
Similar, mate. Yeah. I
nothing
think you've
too
got four,
clear,
have you?
and
Four FTs?
my team is bad, but not bad enough to force stuff. So it's I'm finding FPL quite difficult to to navigate right now. Yeah, I like when there's like quite obvious
Yeah.
paths and obvious moves to make, or hey, you can tear up your team because it's so bad. It's like I'm kind of in that middle ground where it's like, okay, I could do a lot of stuff, but I think the gains are only marginal. I think it's just probably
Yeah.
a reflection of just the lack of options that we got, particularly in the premium bracket, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Agree. Yeah, I
finding
get
it
it. Get it,
weird to
man.
navigate. I don't know if it's just me or whether you're feeling the same.
Similar, man. I am similar. Obviously, I've still got a wild card, and I've got three free transfers, and I've only got theoretically 6 game weeks to use them because of the five free transfers I'm going to get in game week 16.
I
So
spawn,
yeah,
and I think you don't have to use them, but you might as well use them. I think like before, we've always been quite conservative with transfers, right? Because like, hey, the value is worth 4 points, right? Because of like the hit is worth -4. Um, that the closer we get to game week 16 or game week 15, we have to use them all up. The value for transfer becomes less and less, right? So you either
yeah,
lose it or not. So it's got this curve. So yeah, we've got to start using them soon.
exactly that. And we will touch on my path when we talk about game week 10. Wildcard could be active this game week. I'd love your advice on it.
Hmm.
But yeah, let's start off like we used to do. How did we do in game week 9? Do you wanna go first?
Yeah, I'll start. I'll start.
And then I've got some questions. I've done a little bit of question prep for you, Matt. But I'll ask you those questions when you've gone through how you did.
Cool. So
When you are on the screen.
not too good in summary. So 39 points, 8.5 million game week rank. So that was 7 points below the average. And yeah, a big old hefty um, red arrow. So like a 50% red arrow. I think it was around 600k going into the game week. I'm now 950k ish, still sub million, but yeah, a kind of weird one. And I think you've touched upon it. I think let's go on to game. Where's the game week of the team of
Oh,
the
the
week?
star, yeah.
Where's that? Where do you find that? That team
I
of the
can't
week. Team of
remember.
the week.
Don't look at it. There you go.
Team of the week. Like to bring up just like how random it is, right? Martinez with 8 points, Van der Ven 23, Cash 15, Rodon 13, Porro 11, Eze, Tavernier, Aronson, Casemiro, even and Bumo, Fleming. I'd say there's a max of 3 or 4 marginal picks there. It's
Yeah.
very very
Bumo,
strange.
Porro,
Yeah, Porro, Van
Billy
der Ven,
Cash.
like Rodon's a pick,
Yeah.
Umbumo's a pick, Eze's a pick, right? But yeah, very kind of weird week. But some of these players, particularly Van der Ven, like he's owned at like Yeah, over 30%, right? So they're highly owned players, but yeah, kind of weird, right? But yeah, weird week for me. Didn't have any of the highly owned players. It was okay. It was okay. Um, I think Van der Ven. I'm just shocked at that 30% plus uh,
Honestly,
ownership level. I mean, I started with him, right? So I kind of wild carded him out in game week. When did I wild card? Game week 6. Now he's gone on this scoring run, but you can't really predict Van der Ven, who's had no goal forever, to start scoring braces, right? And and Defcon, right? So yeah, I'll say I got there early, but yeah, of course, got rid of him at a bad time. But yeah, we really, you still got Porro though, haven't you?
yeah, but we'll when I bring my team up, you'll see that he might have been on the bench.
Yeah, and I guess rightly so. Yeah, kind of a strange week go around, strange week go around. But yeah, my team, with the benefit of those who can't see the screen, yeah, double Arsenal defense, Raya and Gabriel, obviously really happy with that. Yeah, Gabriel still looking like a kind of awesome pick. On my minds, do we actually want to go 3 Arsenal defense? Do we want an attacker at all? Their like expected goals from non-set pieces is so low. Like if you look at their expected goals conceded, is sub 1 by massive margins every week except game week 1, right? They've been incredible
So
defense, right? Um,
there was some stats, mate. Some stats on before the Arsenal game, might have been after the Arsenal game. That was looking at set piece goals, expected goals, they're top. Set piece actual goals, they're top.
mhm.
Non set piece expected goals, they are 17th in the league.
Yeah, it's troubling, especially like Gyökeres and Saka, the preferred attackers. They're expensive as well, right? So it's not like cheap options here. So I'm thinking, do I want sure Arsenal defense? But obviously, yeah, very happy with Raya, very happy with Gabriel. Rest of my defense was Tarkowski and Senesi. So Senesi didn't hit Defcon for once, got a yellow card. Tarkowski, he does seem a bit expensive, right? So going into this week, I kind of rolled. It was a Friday deadline, right? So I was out and about. So I was umming and ahhing over all sorts of moves. I was umming and ahhing of like Enzo in for NDI. I was umming and ahhing around. What else was I thinking? Reinders to Enzo, Tarkowski to Keane.
Yeah.
I obviously know just before the deadline, I wasn't looking at like news and whatnot. I was just out and about. But given it was a Friday evening deadline, but I think people got leaked in there that Stack was benched. Well, he wasn't benched. He was out of the
Yeah.
squad for illness. I had him starting, so kind of Reinders came on for me. I probably would have done the popular move, stacked Enzo and then Tarkowski to probably Rodon. I have to admit, if I saw that news, but
If you'd have known.
I'm not. Yeah, like just because I think my squad was looking pretty lean, right? With Anderson out, Reinders potentially not starting. He did start, of course, but he got the 1 point. I'd have probably moved that, yeah. But yeah,
He
I
was
didn't.
on the bench, by the way. I know if it was
Oh, he
illness,
was
it
on the bench,
wasn't too
too?
bad because he was on the bench. He just didn't come on.
Okay, but that's kind of worse. I thought he was out of the squad completely,
Mm.
right? So yeah, yeah, missed that league, but I probably would have done that popular move, and like obviously the guys who brought a road on him got their dividends there. I was nervous not having Enzo, but yeah, alas, he didn't do anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tarkowski, my defense, he's looking pretty expensive, I think, for what he's giving Keane his match, well, beating him for attacking threat and matching him for DEFCON. So I'm thinking, yeah, do I
Clean
want this
sheet.
guy for 5.5? I think there's some better options there for sure. But yeah, don't hate him. It's fine. Bench 2 defenders in Anderson and kind of Richards. Yeah, Anderson, I've got to look out for in terms of how long that injury is going to impact him. Midfield, yeah, Reinders had a poor game. I think playing as like the defensive midfielder, but not getting anywhere near DEFCON. Semenyo 3. Fernandez and Di. I think on another week they could have got returns, right? And Di did. I think is expected. I think both of them are expected assists will be pretty high. India seem to be setting up better every single move. So India, yeah,
0.56. Wow.
and expected assists always lags behind, right, compared to goals. So that's kind of like he was very quick at that game, right, and he
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
not far off DEFCON as well. So again, he could have got a haul the other weekend. Yeah, Bruno the same, right? So those stats aren't great yet. So 0.6 xGI, but I think he could have got a return in another week. And then up front, Gyökeres, Haaland, João Pedro didn't do anything, and I think continues the trend of kind of strikers being performing poorly. But a poor week. I'm fine with it. Yeah, my team wasn't looking great. It was always one of those weird weeks where there wasn't like any standout fixtures. Hence why we ended up captaining Haaland against Villa. The guy I was super nervous about was Saka. He didn't really do much. He got subbed early, right, and then Enzo Fernandez. Again, he didn't really do too much against
Yeah,
Sunderland. So I think it's a red hour, but not a bad one for me. So
you'll take
strange
it.
week, strange week, in my opinion.
It was. I mean, I'll bring mine up now. The questions I had for you. I mentioned I had a few. So you mentioned, well, two things. Pedro up front, João Pedro, Gajarez obviously up front as well. Pedro's expected goal involvement this game week on against Sunderland, 0.02. Gajarez at home to Palace, 0.19. Are they problems? Are you
Oh yeah,
thinking of selling either?
um, we'll see soon. But yeah, they're both problems. There's some nice options. Well, not great options. We're not spoilt with choice, but there's people like Mateta. There's people like Tiago and a few others who are there as ready to go options, right? Um, João Pedro is a far bigger problem than Gyökeres. If you're watching Gyökeres, he's getting in positions and he's there and is looking at quite a focal point, right? So João Pedro isn't even taking shots. He's
Right.
anywhere to be seen. And I hate myself that I brought him. I made the bet that I don't think he's a great player and a world class finisher. He's been reliant on pens and stuff like that for Brighton. Scores 1 goal and 5 in the Premier League. Didn't go with him start of season. He kind of started off with a brace
Yeah.
and whatnot. I can't. I'm kicking myself for bringing him in. Why on earth did I do that?
There's nobody
Um,
else. It's the problem. There's no other. There's no other third striker. And maybe for you there is Mateta, right?
well, I
Um,
think I think
yeah.
the move is to move to two or like one or two strikers for sure, right? So um, there's not a wealth of options, but there are some like alternatives. So I think they are both problems. But yeah, João Pedro far more than Gyökeres.
And then the second question, and I'll first apologise for the constant need to blow my nose, but I do mute myself so you don't hear it. Um, Last week you mentioned Reinders is an issue. He is obviously getting the minutes still. He seems to be the only starter, guaranteed starter, apart from Haaland, Diaz, maybe obviously Donnarumma as well. Stach was also an issue. He's obviously been dropped now for the game week just gone. I see your roles. Like, again transfers there? Is that where you're going to focus? Getting rid of one or both?
They're all on my hit list. Um, yeah, as we discussed last week, I had like loads of different options where I could have done 4 transfers. I could have done one. I would if I knew Stack was being benched, I would have done that move Tarkowski down to a Rodon and then uh, got in Enzo Fernandez for Stack. But they're both problems. So yeah, I've got problems throughout the squad, especially when you consider Anderson is probably out. Richard is nursing an injury. We'll see. I'm happy to run with like Ryan is probably less of a problem. He's starting, right? But also Stack
Yeah.
isn't a huge issue because of his price point. Um, Yeah, I think I probably need to given we spoke about the value of transfers, right, going down and down. There's no point sitting on some of these issues, right? If you can make upgrades and wriggle around your team to be slightly better elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll load my team up. I've got some stats for you later on when we look at the punts, mate. I think you mentioned some of them about the Arsenal defence. I think you'll be quite happy with what I show you. You might also be quite happy with what I show you when it looks at City, because Reinders, mate, looks like he could be the second City pick ahead of some nice fixtures. But let me share what I got for my team. Again, red arrow for me as well. Hopefully you can see my team.
Yeah,
On the
just
wrong
loaded
page.
now.
That would help if I go to points. But just the 41 points for me, 7.6 million. Quite a bad red arrow. Was at 172k, dropped down to 284, basically 285,000. You know what? Going into Sunday, that last game, that Everton Tottenham game, I wasn't doing too bad. I think it was a red, but it was 174 to around the 195,000 mark. So still within the top 200,000. That game, thanks to the Tottenham defence, primarily Porro and Van de Ven, absolutely killed my rank. 23 points for Van de Ven and 11 for Porro, who were benched. Was the
You
killer.
were mulling over the bench boost as well, weren't you? I think that was an option going into this week,
I
right?
think you mentioned it. Yeah, and Porro would have been lovely to have had those points.
Wow, that would have been a beast of a bench boost.
The reason I went for Tarkowski, two reasons. He gets more DEFCON and he's at home.
Yeah,
So I just thought he's got a better chance of maybe getting the clean sheet, and he's definitely got a better chance of getting DEFCON. Didn't turn out that way. Didn't get it. Nor did Porro, but obviously Porro got an assist and some bonus. So yeah, not the right one, or the right choice of the one that I played. But yeah, I think I did it for the right reasons. But similar team to you in terms of where my points came from. Bruno Fernandes in the midfield getting DEFCON. Only one of my attacking seven that actually got any returns. It was the defense that made what could have been a horrific game week into a bad game week. Gabriel, same as you, 9 points for him. But Truffert came up trumps, mate. Truffert ended up
I saw
getting
that.
a clean sheet. He ended up getting DEFCON, ended up getting 2 bonus. And yeah, 10 points for him compared to most people have Senesi. So a 5 points difference between those two players. So he was really nice. He's only 2.3% owned. So yeah, he was probably my biggest hero of the game week. Disappointed with the rest. I didn't bring in Sarah and Mateta to get points against Arsenal. Mateta got me the hat trick last week, and then we'll see how they do for the next sort of 6 game weeks. They're there for the long haul. The ones I'm getting frustrated with, Kudus, just bring him up. I know he delivered a couple of game weeks ago with a goal and an assist, but this data, mate, expected goal involvement 0.15, 0.07, 0.31. Like the guy's not delivering. I think there's better options at his price point, so I could do some more with the funds. Expected goal involvement per 90, 0.31. There's definitely better there. So he's frustrating me. I think I'll end up dropping him. Porro, I know again, he's just got the assist and some bonus. But this game week, yeah, okay, expected goal involvement of 0.29. Prior to that, look at this, 0.02, 0.02, 0.03, 0.06. Again, I think I can do better with the 5.5 million. Similar to what you're saying about Tarkowski, mate. There's at 5.5 million, you need better returns. So he's on the chopping block. Hedrow's on my chopping block for obvious reasons, but yeah, we'll come on to where I'm going to
Sounds like you hate your team. So I think that's interesting. I'm intrigued to see your plans for the coming week. Actually,
even
so yeah, I
Truffet.
think it sounds like yeah, you got issues that you want to solve, which is cool.
Correct.
Before we
Even
move on
Truffet's an issue,
to
mate.
no, yeah, I think I can see your thinking now. I think it's all right though. You got the two best Palace players like ahead of the curve, but it's what the whole team looks like is probably more important. But yeah, before we jump onto, I guess, looking at the next couple of game weeks, the next 6 game weeks, and our punts and who we like. What do you learn from this week? Or your
What did I learn
observations?
from this week? What a good question that is. It was a weird week in terms of actual football results, wasn't it? Chelsea lost, Liverpool lost, City lost. Uh, Arsenal defense continues to dominate. They're by far
Yeah,
the best defensive team in the league. I think from an FPL perspective, having one Arsenal defender isn't enough. I need a second at minimum. And anybody else that has one probably needs a second minimum. I think that's hurting every week. United seem to be on a bit of a run to scoring goals.
yeah,
And dare
agreed.
I say, I don't know whether Bruno is the right one. He could have had a return. And Bumo, Cunha obviously got on the score sheet as well. So there's a few options to consider at United. And dare I say, Liverpool defensively not worth picking at all. But they have scored in every single game for since they got beat by Nottingham Forest 1-0 last season, which was about 6 or 7 games into the season. So Liverpool can still score goals. They're just defensively, they're all over the place. I don't mind. I don't mind maybe trying to get ahead of the curve with a Liverpool attacker before they have a really nice run of fixtures from game week 12. Um, and yeah, defensively, Everton aren't the team I thought they were. They're conceding a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Quite interesting to see Forest keep a clean sheet with. Not this actually. It wasn't this game week, was it? It was the game week before they kept a clean sheet or in the cup. Um, but yeah,
I
what are
think
you
it's
thinking? What have you learned?
was it
Sunderland are the
was it
real
in
deal, by
Europe?
the way. That's something. It was in Europe. Yeah, it was in Europe. I think Sunderland are the
Um,
real deal. All of a sudden, not that I'm going to rush to bring their players in.
yeah, I think I probably agree with a lot of the things you said there. Like Man United's attack is impressing, and I think the underlying numbers say that. So I think that all of a sudden they got three attackers. They're interesting: Cunha, Mbumo, Fernandez, of course, right? So yeah, nice little surprise. Nice little surprise there. Um, Obviously, Arsenal defense being absolutely elite. And Gabriel just like turning into the best player in the league. like it's he looks like he's to
We
score
joked
every
about
single set
captaining, mate.
piece. And
Honestly, we
well,
joked about captaining
I think
him. Maybe
generally
we should have.
he's an option. He's becoming an option. Just some of the creativity he was doing about some of the passes that he was doing as well. It's like it was mad seeing it. But the Arsenal defense, I agree on Liverpool attack. It's more who's the player, and I'm kind of starting to think it's Gakpo. Is probably is probably the player. So when I'm thinking of doing moves in midfield, I think he could be an intriguing option to open up.
Yeah, he was. Wasn't could have quite easily got a return, mate. 0.52 expected goal involvement in the game. Obviously, did the 2 game weeks before. But if you look at his
Yeah,
expected goal per 90, 0.6, right? If you compare it to, can we get Salah on this list? Yeah, there he is. Who's double his price? 0.47. So he's outperforming him.
no, it's spot on. So yeah, Gakpo, I feel like Liverpool attack is still fine, it's still good, but it's like who are those attackers? But I think it's probably Gakpo right now. Other than that, I think Sunderland being the real deal. Let's discuss what we
Yeah,
mean
well,
by real deal. But I, I, I would say who are the weakest teams is a lot more difficult compared to previous years. I think it's any
short
of
answer.
Wolves,
Yeah,
West Ham, Forest, but we'll wait and see. Plus probably Burnley, right? But yeah, I think it's yeah. I think we've seen enough that Leeds and but even Burnley have been fine. Yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of not. There's nothing
Wolves.
profound, right? But there's not proper whipping boys, and I've just got to reassess. Like, oh yeah, who am I bringing players for him? And those like green runs, slightly different teams than we expected going into the
Yeah,
season. But yeah, all in all, it's quite a confusing time.
yeah. And with you, I think Wolves and West Ham are the two that seem to be conceding the most. Although Burnley, I think statistically, is still the worst defense in the league. So any
There's
of them
there's
three,
one good
I
team,
could.
and you can just pick their defenders.
Yeah, which I'll show you that in a second as we look at some punt options. What is the time on the clock, Matthew?
It is 25:40.
Happy days. Happy days. Yeah, no, as you said kind of at the beginning, the reason we want to look at this is there are 6 game weeks left until everybody gets 5 free transfers. And we like to look at 6 game week gaps anyway. So it's like, right, okay, maybe you can have a bit of fun. Let's have a look at the teams over those 6 game weeks that have some of the best fixtures, they're expected to score the most or keep the most clean sheets, and then see from those teams who have the best fixtures wise who are the picks. Because
Who
yeah, you can
who have
just
you got going in blinds?
redo
Who have you
your
got going
team.
in blinds? Who have you got going without
Going in blind without the
looking at?
stats. Without the stats. So
You need 5
Palace, I
punts.
obviously know.
5 punts
5 punts, right?
players.
Okay, let me stop
Players.
sharing for this. 5 punts. Okay, so I know Palace have good fixtures because I bought 2 of them in for a reason. So
Yeah.
Mateta, 100% on my list. Arsenal have nice fixtures because I want to bring some of them in. So if you haven't got Gabriel, it's Gabriel. Away from Gabriel, I think you're right. I think a defender is a better option than one of their attackers for cost point of view, and they seem to be getting more points. I would be tempted by Calafiori.
Okay. Over Timber?
So yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Matt. I've done a bit of prep for this, and I've kind of seen some stats which lead me towards Calafiori this morning over Timber, which I'll show you. But
Yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
on my list. And the other team, I know Brighton have got some okay fixtures, and Minter seems to be getting into positions, and we looked at his
Yeah, yeah.
stats last week, so I think he could be an option.
So it's actually 5 then, is it? I think you've gone.
That's number 5. Gabriel, no, he's not really a punt though, is he?
I don't think
Calafiori,
any of the.
Minter,
I think you have Mateta.
Mateta,
I think so. So your punts are the most obvious.
and Sarr.
Uh, I think I'd go. Yeah, all
Who
of the
knows?
above, of course. Munoz, of course, I think is a really interesting
Yeah.
option. And as a he's getting DEFCON, he's getting clean sheets, and he's of course playing as a winger. So I think Munoz is of course super interesting for those that can reach there. Punts. And Bumo and Cunha.
Okay.
Uh,
Look at United.
I'm going puntsy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
This is Gabriel. You've got Minter, ain't you? Thiago for
Thiago. Yeah. Yeah.
Brentford. Foden.
Foden. That is a punt. The guy burns you every time you have him in your team.
I'm not going there. So I'm just going radical there. Foden, and like maybe a Newcastle kind of attacker of choice. Gordon.
Yeah, they're a bit. It's just who plays, isn't it? With Newcastle. If it's not
Um,
Volta-made, you don't know whether they're going to start.
but Gordon always plays, isn't he?
Yeah, he did. There's been a couple of times where he's not. I mean, I appreciate he got sent off, right? So I might be thinking of that.
Um,
But he's
so load up on Palace and Arsenal then. Conclusion.
Arsenal, and dare I say Man City, and I'll show you why. The fixtures, mate. The fixtures seem to support them a little bit over these next 6 game weeks, right? Let me share this with you. So we'll bring up. We don't look at the fixture difficulty ticket anymore, and we'll look at expected goals and clean sheets. But if you look for the next 6 game weeks ahead of those 5 free transfers for everybody, Palace, Brighton, Forest, City, United seem to have the best fixtures in terms of an attack from an attacking point of view. Newcastle in 6, followed by Liverpool. But yeah, I'm lucky in the sense that I've already got Sarr, I've already got Mateta. Those fixtures look incredible for their attack. So hopefully I'll get some returns there. We touched on Minter, and then you touched on the United lads. So would as you've got Bruno, do you think that's enough, or would you be tempted by a Cunha and an Mbumo, or
Um,
dare I say, Sel Fernandez for one of them?
I wouldn't sell Fernandez, but and I probably won't get two, but yeah, Mbumo's interesting as a second option, given like lack of other options, right? And he's been very attacking with some good underlying numbers throughout the season, really. So yeah, he intrigues me. I think what's stark here with obviously the period that we've done, and I know why we've done it because we got 5 free transfers going game week 16, is that game week 12, game week 13, there's a hell of a swing to certain teams, right? So that's why
yeah.
Arsenal don't appear on here
It's
because
all down here, yeah.
they have
Even
this
though they've got
they have a
Burnley and
swing, don't
Sunderland.
they?
Well, out of interest, let's do this, mate. Let me change this to 12. And all of a sudden, Liverpool go top.
Yeah.
Brighton Palace still up there, to be fair.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But all of a sudden, Liverpool go flying up. Defensively, don't know why Liverpool are top. I wouldn't get a Liverpool defender in. We've already touched on that and why. But yeah, Brighton, Fulham, United, Bournemouth. Doesn't really give Palace's defence much credit, despite the fact they've gone to Stamford Bridge and kept a clean sheet. They only conceded one against Liverpool, only conceded one against Arsenal. I think the Palace defence is better than this thinks it is, because home games against Brentford, Brighton, game against
I mean,
Wolves,
Brentford and Brighton
Burnley.
can score. Brighton particularly score against everyone, don't they? I think I'd never bet on a clean sheet against that Brighton team. Brentford to a lesser extent. Wolves away, yeah. Man United home, and Burnley, Fulham is away in it. So I can see why it's saying that.
And Arsenal, despite having the best defence in the league, down in what's that 14th. So this is why, rather than using this, what we generally like to use is what we're looking at the. What do we look at again? This one. This is the one. So we look at goals for the team, and over the next couple of game weeks, it expects City, Liverpool, Brighton, Palace to score the most. Any shocks for you there? I wouldn't imagine so.
No, I think that's really fair. What does it look like if you switch that to game week 10 to 12 and then 12 to 15? What was that?
So 10 to 12 so over the next three. Palace top, Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool, City
Similar
follow.
names, isn't it? Similar names.
And if we go 12 to 15, Liverpool swing to the top, City, Brighton, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Palace. So yeah, Palace, Brighton, City just continuously on this list,
Yeah.
regardless. If we go back to 10 to 15 and look at expected clean sheets, you won't be surprised to see Arsenal at the top, followed by City. So this is why you're talking about City players, maybe not Foden, but you're talking about City players. Clearly, they've got the fixtures. They're expected to score a lot. They're expected to keep the second most clean sheets over the next 6 game weeks, followed by Everton, Newcastle, and then Liverpool and Palace. But we'll split that up again, mate. We'll do just for that fixture swing 10 till 12. Arsenal, Everton, Fulham, City, Palace at the top, and then 12 to 15. When City then come into their own. City, but Arsenal still up there. Liverpool still there, and Palace not far off either. So I think from the looks of this and the expected goals, mate, I think the teams you want to be looking at are probably Arsenal, City, Brighton, Palace.
Yeah,
I like
agree. I mean, no, I agree. Yeah, it's not as big a change as I thought, right? And like Brighton and Palace seem quite enduring between both, yeah, 3 and 4 game week periods during that split. So yeah, I think agree, mate. So I think you've been vindicated with your selections.
well, good. I'm happy with that, and we'll bring up, mate. What we'll do is we'll look at those 4 teams,
Yep.
and we'll look at how those teams, like from those teams in particular, which players have been the standout options for the season so far. So trying to pick out on who's got the best form, and then that could influence like who you see as the punts. In or Arsenal, I'll let you pick.
Let's go Arsenal.
If you said something, I didn't hear. Arsenal. There you go. Arsenal. Now, you said something before me about tripling up on the Arsenal defence. I've organised this by expected FPL points. The top four: Gabriel, Calafiori, Timber, and Raya. First attacker that comes in is Gyökeres, and he's fifth. Maybe there is an option to triple up, mate.
Yeah, I think it changes when you do per 90, right? Of course, Saka's got
Let's do
500
that.
minutes. Is there a per 90? Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
do
per
that.
90. Oh, we'll change that though. So there's a minimum number of the played at least 400 minutes. So
Yeah.
and then it's still me, still Calafiori, Timber, and Gabriel at the top.
Trossard is wow. Okay.
That defense is mental.
Well, they also get in attacking positions, right? Because they're scoring all their goals from set pieces, and like Calafiori, particularly, it occupies quite attacking positions, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does have competition though.
Yeah, he does.
Look,
He does. He
like
seems to be getting the minutes at the minute, but and he's the
I
one
feel
that
like
seems to come off in like the 80th
yeah,
minute. So he bags that clean sheet.
it feels like it's either Trossard and Calafiori or Martinelli and Lewis Skelly. It doesn't seem like it's. They don't seem to kind of cross over much, but yeah, I think Timber is slightly more secure in minutes, right? Although like
Played,
minutes are identical here, so
yeah, 2 minutes more for Timber. It just shows, man, that defense is crazy good. You know, you're not going to bring in Trossard because obviously Trossard can be benched pretty. You know, there's so many wing options. Saka's probably the only one that's guaranteed to play. Expected goals per 90, 0.25. That's only 0.02 more than Calafiori's getting from an expected goal point of view. And
well,
Saka's took a
that
penalty.
includes a penalty as well,
Yeah, exactly.
and his
That's
expected
just
assists half of the corners as well. So it's not looking good, is it?
no, honestly. Like, would you? I know you've got two already. Would you genuinely have three in their defense?
Um, Defense, there's lots of cheap options, right? But yeah, I think I would. Yeah.
Nice. I like that. I like that because I've got something later, which I might, I might end up doing, which might have all three of them. But yeah, I mean, I'll go back to the total. Would you bring in? Obviously, you've got one of their attackers already, Gyökeres. Would you, if you had to pick your three now, right? You just get to pick three Arsenal players right now. Which are your three? Budget is not an issue.
Gabriel Raya. And it's a toss up between Saka and probably Timber.
Interesting. Okay, Timber being the third.
Well, or Saka.
Okay.
I was non-committal there, but yeah, I wouldn't be going
Yeah,
Gyökeres. I'd be going triple defense or Saka. I think what's the benefit with Saka is that it gives you a nice team structure, right? I think team structure wise, we don't want money in our forward lines, right? There's not many great forward options, full stop. Having the three is excessive, right? So you want to be moving money away from your forward line. Midfielders always score big. They're scoring better than forwards. There's not many options at the moment, but having a little bit of flex, right, with Saka there
yeah,
helps.
I'd agree. Penalty taker as well, set piece taker. Feels like the better pick out of him and Gyökeres, but I
Yeah.
don't know whether I have the bottle to go for three Arsenal defenders. I'll definitely have two. I just don't know whether I could get to three. But interestingly, mate, I'm gonna pick up on the next one, but I'm gonna pick Brighton next. And the reason I'm gonna pick them next is you look at these expected points from Arsenal defenders, yeah, 58, 55, 53 expected points. We bring up the Brighton team. Their highest expected point scorer is Minter on
Um,
37.
yeah, Mintez the best option. Brighton are like a enigma to me. I find them really hard to read, really hard to predict, even who's going to play. But I think Mint is probably the one certainty for those. Like, yeah, underlying stats are good and the minutes are good as well. Out of like he's got the most minutes out of all the attackers there, right? He's played every game, right? The guys with 8-10 minutes are the defenders playing 90 minutes. So he's played every game. So yeah, I think I wouldn't dwell on it too much. I think Minter and Van Heck are the two picks for various different reasons, right? But their defense, I'd have no trust in. I have more trust in their attack. I don't really trust
Yeah.
Minter too much, right? But lack of set pieces and all that. But for 6 million, do a lot worse, right?
Yeah, and he's only took one shot less. Sorry, he's took two shots more than, should I say, Welbeck. Now, granted, he's played more minutes than Welbeck, but he's clearly the other person on that team that gets the chances and takes the shots. His attempted assists are nearly double every other player in the team. So he's clearly involved in the attack. So yeah, I like him as a pick
No, I
compared to
agree.
somebody like a Kudus.
No, I prefer Minter for sure, but like especially the fixtures. But yeah, I think on that team, obviously, it's a bit looking at this by expected FPL points, right, which is really helpful. But yeah, I think it's Minter and Van Heck. I won't consider anyone
Yeah.
else from that team.
If you change it to per 90, Welbeck's there, but obviously limited minutes. But Minter in third for expected points per 90. But yeah, I like him as a pick. He'd be my point. So it sounds as though we're on the same page with that one. We'll bring up Palace next because I think Palace are a little bit more obvious, right?
Well, Pal's going to be what? It's
Um,
going to be Mateta, Sarr, Munoz, and it's probably got Gay, who's just been, yeah, there. Oh, Gay's ahead
Correct.
of Sarr.
It's pretty, but he has played more minutes than him, in all fairness. And he's only two ahead on expected points, but he's played two more games. So you'd think if Saar had played 9 games as well, you're right, he'd be third, fourth, second or third on that list. But yeah, I think, we won't touch on Palace too long, mate. I think it's pretty obvious. It's Mateta, Saar, and a defender of choice. Munoz, if you can afford him. Bob, do you reckon Richards, if not?
Um, yeah, for that price point. I mean, yeah, kind of like buyer beware, right? Because I think he's been nursing an injury apparently. But yeah, Richards is perfectly fine. I think Gay he's been fortunate with some of the attacking returns, right? But he's 0.5 more than Richards. I like having Richards at 4.5. He's the best 4.5, and most game weeks he's there or thereabouts when it comes to DEFCON.
Yeah. And if I look at per 90, doesn't really change much. Mateta and Saar way out on top, unsurprisingly.
And then Munoz,
And
yeah,
then
the best
Munoz,
three.
obviously
Yeah,
more guaranteed for the minutes. Then Jeremy is in fourth place. So I think
yeah.
that they're the ideal three. But yeah, with you, mates, if you can't get to Munoz, Richards for the
I'd,
for the for
I'd
the
have
money
I'd have
saved
all
is
three.
probably the pick.
I'd have all three if wildcarding.
Yeah. Well, interesting you should say that. We'll come on to that. Now, last one, City. I think you might be quite happy to see some of this because when we look
Well,
at Manchester City, top of the shop, unsurprisingly, Haaland. Everybody's got Haaland, ignore him. Look at Reinders. He is second for expected points amongst that City team. Starts every game, plays the minutes. 19 shots, by the way. It's far more than I thought he'd had this season, and 9 expected attempted assists. He's
it's,
performing better than I think he is.
it's not very good for 9 weeks, right? That's one assist and one shot a game. A game. Well, that's two shots a game and an attempted assist a game. And then if you divide the points by
Yeah, this
9, it's not great.
this is what this is where I'll do your per 90, and it might change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Alan way
he's
out, Doku O'Reilly, Gvardiol. He's
yeah,
wait, he's
four
gone. He's
points.
dropped.
Yeah, I mean, 4 points isn't great. Um, yeah, it's a hard team to read, right? I think it's Haaland and no one else really. I wouldn't be picking Reinders, mate, at like 4 points expected points per game, and his minutes aren't as
No.
certain now. Or if he plays, he's playing as a defensive midfielder, right? Like a deep defensive midfielder, because all the attackers are back now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
I don't plan on bringing
yeah,
him in.
I mean, you can have some fun and go Doku if you want, but or like, Vardiol would probably be the second pick, but I still think it's Haaland or no one.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing, mate. I think if I want a City defender, I think Donnarumma is probably the pick because he'll be guaranteed to play. I just don't like Pep Roulette. Is the honest truth. So I'm with you. I think Haaland is the pick, and purely based on I hate having a team where a player may or may not play. I've been stung with City too many times. I'll stay away. Uh, I agree. You're definitely not going Foden.
I'm I'm never going that guy.
No, he's got a lot of shots, a lot of attempted assists. In all fairness to him, where did he come
True.
up on the per 90? Fifth. One, two, three, four, sixth even. Sixth in the per 90. Just slightly ahead of Raiders. But yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Stay away from him.
Yeah. I mean,
So the
sometimes
only when we
we can be blinded by team. Like Man City aren't like an all-conquering team right now, so we can be blinded by teams and fixtures. Right? Really, you want first and foremost good players,
yeah,
and FPL wise, there's only one good player.
big Holland. And you know what we've just realized we've gone through there, right? And the only real punch. Well, I suppose you can count Munoz if you want, but it's Minter and Calafiori, I guess, because not a lot of people, most people go Timber over Calafiori. I think he would as well, to be fair. So
Uh,
Minter's the punt. That is what
well,
we've come to. The
I guess
punt
it's
is Minter.
combinations, though, isn't it? It's combinations.
Yeah, it is.
Triple Arsenal defense will be an interesting combination. Triple Palace in its own right is an interesting combination. Minted by himself is So
Is an option,
yeah,
right? Just looking at the League Cup results: Liverpool 0, Palace 3. Liam Delap came on. The red cards pass over. There's some interesting news for you as a João Pedro owner. Liam Delap came on the pitch and got sent off. So
oh,
he is unavailable for the weekend.
uh,
So that
am I
means
an owner?
Pedro is
Am I an owner? We'll see.
of João Pedro. Yeah, you might get rid.
Oh, it might be
Uh,
gone already. Let's see.
all right. Oh well, we'll see when we come to your team, mate. But yeah, on that point, what is the time on the clock?
The time. Sorry, I was browsing football fixtures myself. And it is 48 minutes.
48 bang on.
Right.
48-0-0. Because we may as well, because I'm sharing my screen already. We'll start with my teammate. Loaded it up on who my game week 10 squad is presently. Sanchez in goal, Pedro Porro, Tarkowski, and Gabriel across the back line. Sarr, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, and Kudos in the midfield, and João Pedro, Mateta, and Haaland up front. Haaland with the armband with a home game against Bournemouth, and Mateta with the vice captaincy at home against Brentford. Bench of Dubravka, Reynaldo, Anderson, and Truffert. Um, I've got 3 free transfers, mate. It's not a terrible squad. I'm not overly happy, if I'm honest, with Sanchez as my general starting keeper. I think I can do better. I think it's only a matter of time, if I'm honest, until he gets dropped anyway. We spoke earlier when I was looking at my points from game week 9. Porro's not doing enough for his price point. You're right about Tarkowski not doing enough. Kudos his money can be better spent. And the bench, mate, other than Dubravka, I hate every single player on it. Reynaldo, Anderson, Truffert. I know Truffert just got me 10 points, but he's not the pick. There's better players to be had at 4.5 million. Um, so yeah, I hate it. I've got 2 options, right? I need to work out whether a wild card's worth it. So if I don't wild card, I'd be focusing on bringing in transfers that help me get a half decent game week 11 because I've got a bench boost that I want to play in game week 11. With a wild card probably coming in game week 12, which would allow me then to, bring in bench fodder and then put the rest of my money in the starting 11. If I'm going to do that, mate, I'll show you some transfers that I've got in mind. So ahead of game week 10, I could quite easily go Sanchez out. I'd probably get rid of Porro to free up some cash. Then I could even get rid of Kudus if I want to force it. And I'll bring in Raya. I'll bring in probably Richards. And then in that midfield, if we're going to go with the punts, I bring in Minter. That'd be game week 10. So I'd end up benching Anderson from that front eight. Quite happy with that. And then on the defence, I would play Richards, Gabriel, and Tarkowski. And have my double Arsenal defence. And have that. Have Minter as a differential in my squad. I would then have one free transfer going into game week 11, and I've been looking, as I say, to bench boost, and I've 0.8 million in the bank. And most of that team, mate, I very quickly, right? If you look at who I've got there, Arsenal, got Sunderland, Burnley, I play West Ham, Bournemouth, I've got Villa, not a bad fixture. Everton at home to Fulham. The point I'm trying to make is most of that squad has decent fixtures. Pedro's not performing, but he's got Wolves. I'm happy to have him, right?
So who's your
The only
bench?
team that
And your bench is your bench Dubravka,
Anderson,
Anderson, and Ronaldo.
yeah, Dubravka away at West Ham, fine with that. Anderson's
Yeah,
at home to Leeds, fine with that.
fine.
I'll come back to Reynaldo because I will. He's probably going to be my punt and transfer out. So my other bench would be probably Truffert, and he's away at Villa again. Not great, but I'll deal with that, right? I'd have 0.8 in the bank. I could take Reynaldo out, and
Yeah,
I could bring in anyone up to 4.8. Looking at those fixtures, I don't hate Matty Cash. Maybe he's 4.5.
Diouf
Bring him in.
for West Ham.
Could bring him in. Could bring. Yeah, he's 4.4, so I could easily get to him. If I want to focus, Leeds are doing all right. They've got Forest. We'll have to see how Forest are getting on. But I could bring in Rodon. I could bring in Hartman for Burnley. Anyway, the
Yeah,
point is, I can bring in a better
Chelsea.
player.
Yeah.
I can bring a better player than Ronaldo. I get a very decent game week 11 team out for bench boost. It'd be a steady enough squad for game week 10. Go into game week 12 and wildcard.
I think that's
I
probably a
don't
better
hate it.
move. I think that's like I want to see a wild card team, but I think that's
Yeah.
a good route. Then you can
You think
play.
that's a good route?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'd love to get Calafiori. My issue is that the team structure doesn't suit Calafiori because I need to sell Porro and go down to get funds to be able to do the rest of it.
Well, you
So I
just
can't
don't bring
really,
in
I can't
Riot.
really get that. No. So even then, like if I'll show you just very quickly, restore him, and then restore Porro. Oh no, well
Well,
that's better than I thought it was.
you just bring
But
in
then yeah, Sanchez.
Calafiori and Minter. Done.
Oh, that's what I was doing. Him to Calafiori. There was an issue with it. I think the issue was going to be
Well, you don't want
and they can't
Sanchez,
really
but
do it. No, I don't want Sanchez. Oh, for game week 11, mate, he's fine because he's got Wolves at home, right? So that's not a problem. And then can't do anything with Reynaldo
well, you can
in
move him
game
to
week 11,
any of the 4.3
4.3 or
defenders, right?
below, which I think gives me
Leeds
less options.
defenders, Leeds and Burnley defenders, right? So, or you can just keep him. Who cares?
I care. Or there's options, right? The point is, there's options. I can do it wildcard in 12, sort my team out for the rest of that
Yeah.
12, 13,
Show,
14, 15. So four
show
game
me
weeks.
your wild card because I think
Yeah,
your team looks a lot
let's
better
do
than
that.
mine anyway, even before transfers. And yeah, those moves work quite nicely. But yeah, show me your team
So
wild card.
wildcard, realistically, I'm getting rid of Sanchez. I'll cross out and get rid of Sanchez, Truffet, Tarkowski, Reynaldo, Porro, Kudus, Anderson. I'd want to get rid of Pedro, but I don't think I would.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Purely for
Okay.
yeah, I want to get rid
Wow.
of him, but I don't know who I'd bring in. I've got Mateta. I don't really want Guy Jerez.
Well, if you're wildcarding now, you're missing a gift of Krupi Jr., right? Given that he's starting and scoring
How much is he? 4.5?
4.5, unless he's gone up.
4.6. He's playing most games.
Well, Evan Nielsen's out at the moment, but he's been playing and scoring. Evan Nielsen hasn't. So, like, all you need him is for 1 or 2 game weeks, right?
Well, I'd need him for 2, but it's after an international break, is it not? Oh no, it's not. It's just before the international break. I wouldn't be confident enough when Evan Nielsen comes back. He remains.
Well,
But anyway, I'll
put
show you what I
Thiago then
thought,
instead.
which I could. I'll show you what I thought,
Without
and then yeah,
Mane, you can't
tell
have
me.
João Pedro in a wild card team.
I do hate him. I do hate having him, right?
I mean,
But
when
this
did
feels
he
like
take
yeah,
his last shot?
Wolves. When was
It
his
don't
last
matter
shot? I don't even know
actually.
when his last shot was. Nope. The last time he got over 0.04 expected goals in a game was game week 4.
Exactly. It don't matter what his fixtures are. Like,
Yeah, maybe I'll get rid of him. But I'll show you what the rest of my thoughts were, right? So Arsenal,
yeah,
I would bring in Calafiori, minimum.
yeah,
Like he'd be my pick. I wouldn't hate potentially getting Raya.
yeah. You need
Could
triple
double up
Arsenal to
there.
make wild carding. Yeah,
I'd go and get Munoz.
yeah, nice.
He'd fit in quite easily. I would then, instead of Tarkowski, getting Keane
Yeah, nice.
in the midfield. I would still probably go for Minter for a few game
Yeah,
weeks. Uh, I've then got quite a few options. I'd probably move Reinildo onto Rodon as my cheap defender, and then it
why
gives
is
me
that?
12 million to play.
Oh, because he's got the West
Uh,
Ham game, isn't he? Yeah, he's got the
That's
easy.
it. It's purely
Yeah,
purely the game week 11 fixture that
yeah,
I'd need him for. Because otherwise, I'm not
yeah,
starting him other than game week 11 for the bench boost.
yeah.
So he's just got the nicer fixture for me. And it's probably similar with then the punts I'd have to play here. Who's got the game week 11 fixture? Part of the reason I'm keeping Pedro, mate, is because I don't dislike that fixture at all. So if I do put him back in, I'm then sat
Enzo
with a
Fernandez, better, no?
trying to get. Is it what? Sorry, mate.
Enzo Fernandez would be better, no?
Yeah, I could do that. Could get an Enzo. Let's bring him in as the penalty taker, and then it gives me 5.3 to play with up front. So
Croupy.
who's on that list? I don't think he'll start. Genuinely don't. Then Foster's been getting dropped, hasn't he? Came off the bench and scored, but he's not starting every game anymore. Maybe I could get Calvert-Lewin in. Leeds have got a decent fixture. He continues to start. I hate him, but he's going to be bench fodder, and I only need him for away at Forest. I'd have to then make up some money, right, if I go that expensive. And it might be that I don't go 3 Arsenal and I
You
just go for
need you
2.
need 3
But
Arsenal.
anyway, it'd
Anyway,
be it'd be along these sort of
get
lines, right?
get rid of Enzo because obviously you didn't like having him. So you wanted João Pedro.
Then it'd be the only option that I could really throw in because it's 4.5 million. Doesn't really work for me because it's going to be King. It's going to be King of Fulham, and the guy got dropped. So it might be that I'm being too greedy. Munoz goes down to Richards, and then I can get in a £5.7 midfielder instead.
Your
And looking at those
your
fixtures,
transfer team your transfer team looks just as good as this.
you reckon?
Well, what's different? You
I
got
mean, those
Haaland,
front those
Mateta.
tho-
You got
yeah,
Haaland,
front
Mateta,
seven's the same.
João Pedro. You got Minter, Fernandez, Sarr, Semenyo, and then you'll have Anderson versus fucking King. Raya,
Yeah, neither here nor there.
you can have
I'd have
Raya if
Raya,
you
I'd
want.
have Gabriel.
So what's the point of wildcarding? There's none.
Yeah, I'm of the impression. What I've wrote down is, well, where have I put it? I put it
There's
here.
nothing different.
I'd change 7 players. However, only 4 that I'll be starting. Probably better to use my 3 transfers at this point. That's where I've got, and I'm glad you
Yeah,
think
agree.
similar.
Agree. I agree. It's literally identical team, if not weaker than
Yeah.
the one you got with transfers. So, yeah.
Okay, just means 2 Arsenal defenders, not 3. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. If I could afford Minter, not Minter, Munoz, maybe I'd have done
Yeah,
it. But that's where I'm at.
agree.
That's where I'm at, mate. So I won't be doing any transfers because of cup games. But that's where I'm at. What about you, mate? Where are you at?
Well, I like that you were describing your team as shocking. Wait, wait till you see this starting
Yours
lineup.
worse?
Can you see it?
Oh, sorry, I didn't bring it on. There we go.
Yes. So yeah, look at this mess. So so I've made a
There's a lot of
transfer. I've
flags.
already moved. I've moved João Pedro to Mateta, so he is in my
Yeah,
team and starting looking
yeah.
good. But yeah, my team is Raya in goals, Dubravka benched, then Richards as a doubt, starting Tarkowski, Gabriel, Anderson is most probably out. Benching Senesi out of my defenders against City away. Midfield in DI, Fernandez, Semenyo, benching Reinders and Stack, and then Gyökeres, Mateta, and Haaland. So yeah, I had 5 free transfers going in. I've used one. I can. The team is okay. I think if Anderson and Richards are fit, it's okay. Reinders can also come into the lineup quite
Yeah,
easily.
I don't think that's a bad. I hope to Bournemouth. Bournemouth concede goals, so I don't think Reinders over Anderson's the worst thing in the world.
No, but like if Anderson's going to probably be out, right? He's got a hamstring issue. I think Richards is going to start, so we'll use that assumption. But Reinders coming into Anderson, it's fine. But I do have 4 free transfers, and it's like, okay, let's sort some stuff out, right? So I could be radical, right? Let me show you what I mean. I've used my bench boost as well, so I can have some proper fodder. So let's go back to our mate GUI. 4.2
He got a
now.
start,
Wow.
did he not?
You got
Yeah,
to
he got a
start, yeah,
start.
for
Yeah.
sure. And I can start solving some of my issues, right? So I could go.
All of a sudden, you can get Saka.
That structurally is better, isn't it?
Yeah, solid 7 up top, solid enough.
This
Maybe
is
Grinders.
stack being an issue. I think that's cool. I could equally do. Let me show some of it if I want to use all my transfers. The problem with Tarkowski is he's perfectly okay, right? that's a problem. But let's bring back stack. Let's go.
Grinders out. Big Sart. Double up on that Palace attack.
Go flipping.
That makes me happy as somebody that has both of those players already.
Boomer, right?
Double United attack.
I could go. What else could I do? Let me play it. Okay, let's say he's injured. Let's get Calafiori.
Triple Arsenal up at the back. Yeah.
Gakpo.
Can afford him as well, yeah.
Enzo.
Instead of Gakpo, go for Enzo.
Yeah. So I could be
Leaves
quite.
you a million in the bank.
I could keep Grinders if I wanted to, right?
So you've used one already.
These one away.
Are you
These are
planning
all
to
free.
use the other
I can
3?
get to all these with free
Yeah.
3 transfers. I've got 4 left. So I've got options. Getting rid of Gyökeres is I think the key, right? If I don't get rid of him,
Yeah.
then I'm left with these 2 stinking midfielders. Reinders is less poor, of course, and then quite a broken defense. Let's see if Anderson is fit. If Anderson's fit, I could just kind of roll, right? But like if not, it's like I could go him down to Keane, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Stack can't even get to anyone good. I think Sarr is. How much is Sarr these days? 6.5. I could go Minter. Okay.
Not bad.
There's only got 0.4 XGI,
Yeah.
right? So it's like Sarr is a lot
It's better
better.
than Kudus. It's better than
No, for
Kudus
sure.
now.
No, for sure. So you can see, like, the benefit there is I've got 2 free transfers left, right? But yeah, I think if I went structurally, that just works so nice. Do you know what I mean? Getting like GUI is like such a cheap fodder player, and then getting in Saka.
Still leaves you 2 free. Although you did say 3 Arsenal defenders might be the
Yeah,
move.
I mean,
Saka did score
yeah,
today, by the way.
obviously, and he scored like just after coming off the bench, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I go Sarr is like the next best thing, right? Sarr, and then like Calafiori, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's on midfielders. Yeah. There he is. I take it you don't think it's worth for a transfer moving Richards to Munoz?
Potentially,
It's not a bad move, is it? Like considering the attack and threat Munoz brings.
Well, Richards is good with Defcon as well, but Munoz
Yeah.
is
Done it 3 times.
30%. So he's got 68 Defcon points, and then Richards has got, how much has Richards got in total? Richards has got 97. So there's a fair difference,
Yeah.
right?
Richards is averaging over 10 per game there.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 per 90, should I say.
I don't know. It's a tough one, right? What's his XGI now? .3. So better good than Kudos, Jao Pedro, Gyökeres, all these guys. I don't know, it's an option, right? You don't want to be blowing all these transfers, right? Because soon you want to be considering, Liverpool players, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to use them up. You got to use them up soon enough, right? So yeah, going back to where my team is now, that's perfectly fine, right? Gyökeres is fine, and you don't want to really be moving him out before Burnley, like, of all teams. But yeah, I think I can get to a better structure by moving a few players around. Yeah, equally, Gustak is an issue. Reinders, I'm not happy with him. I don't want to be playing him every week, which I'm forced to now.
Yeah.
Defenders are fine. Obviously, Anderson, Richards, fitness issues. So yeah, I've made one move and I can do all sorts of things. Right. So yeah, a bit of a tough one. All have their own merits as well as not doing anything at all. What would
See
you
why you
do?
said at the beginning. Well, I can see why at the beginning you said you're struggling to to know what to do. I'm with you, mate. I couldn't bring myself to take Gyökeres out ahead of a Burnley fixture.
Even
Just
for
couldn't do
Saka?
it. It's going to cost you 2 transfers. So all of a sudden, Saka needs to outscore him by 8 points. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
I think the transfers don't cost really much now, given I've got 5 and not many weeks to use them. And structurally, it does set you up better, right? Because you've got
Oh
that
yeah,
dead spot
yeah.
as a super cheap, super cheap striker. But I agree, it's just using those 2 free transfers to do it. But that's the only real good way I can free up money. Otherwise, it's Tarkowski down to Keane, which I do think is still a downgrade, right? And they have okay fixtures, and bring in Minter. So still 2 free transfers, right? So any move I have to do is
Yeah,
2 free transfers essentially, unless I move Ndiaye to Sarr, which like just feels a bit of a waste of time. Sarr is
yeah,
better, but like
absolutely.
so I think I'm gonna have to use a further 2 free transfers or nothing at all.
To do
Right.
anything.
Just
Yeah,
so doing nothing at all is definitely an option, especially if Anderson is declared fit. If not, I'm probably gonna have to use just accept it and play Reinders or do 2 free transfers, whether it's a downgrade of Tarkowski to then upgrade someone else. Because then I can bring in Minte or Sarr for
stuff.
no, I can bring in Minte kind of for Stack or Sarr
Yeah,
for Reinders. Or yeah, it's that bolder move, which is Gyökeres uh, down to
just feel
Gui
like
and
if
then Saka.
yeah, just feel like if he ended up scoring Gyökeres, you'd just end up kicking yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, are you just wasting stuff getting in an Arsenal attacker? But I think that's even exaggerated even more if I bring in 3 defenders, right? Imagine if one of those guys score attack and return they concede. I'll be
Yeah,
fuming,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, I
yeah.
guess issues where if I do that Saka move, it doesn't necessarily improve my um, starting 11. It's just shifted it around.
Because all of a sudden, yeah,
Rather than
you're
I've
still
got
having
Stack
to
as an issue.
play.
I've got Stack as an issue.
Yeah,
Then I've just moved it to GUI as an issue.
exactly.
Um,
So you probably still have to play Reinders anyway. If Anderson's, well, you will have to play Reinders anyway if Anderson's injured.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, tough one.
Yeah, if I was in your position, I think I'd roll the next four. I think I'd roll the four and just play Reinders.
I think that's where I'm landing. It sounds incredibly boring, and I'll probably have to absorb some price drops and whatnot. But yeah, you can learn a lot, can't you, week on week? So
Yeah.
who knows what
Then
happens?
that's it. And then next week you go back to 5 free transfers. Not long until game week 12, where there's a big fixture swing, as you pointed out, and you don't have the luxury of your wild card. Going into game week 12 with 5 free transfers for you could really help you keep pace with anybody that might have a wild card left.
Yeah, it's a really frustrating kind of period when you're just on this this brick wall in terms of options. Nothing's really clear. Um, I kind of really don't like my team either at the moment. I've got some kind of glaring issues, but yeah, it's just yeah, Joao Pedro out to Mateta was like
Frustrating.
super obvious, so I've done that, of
Yeah,
course. But yeah, everything else is like, oh, is it good enough?
yeah.
Tough.
It's tough. It's a tough game week, man. It's a tough
Yeah,
game
yeah,
week.
yeah. I think your moves are good though. Your
Uh,
moves upgrade your team a lot the next couple, and set you up for a while. A nice bench boost. So and look as good as your wildcard team. So I think your path is clear. So I envy you, man.
it'd be nice to have some Arsenal players, defenders, more defenders in the squad. Mine, to be honest with though, mate, mine all relies on Richards being declared fit. Because if he isn't, then Hirota Richards doesn't work, and then it doesn't free me up with the money to be able to do what I want. So
Yeah,
I have to wait
probably
on that news.
same for me as well. Like, yeah, if he's out, then my team is looking pretty weak. Um,
So all eyes on Palace for the weekend. They have just
yeah, I
beaten
don't
Liverpool
get.
for the third time in a
I
row.
mean, they've got their number for sure. But yeah, he was out. He wasn't in the squad, but he wasn't in the squad for the previous Conference League game either, right? So I think it was declared that he's nursing a little niggle. So we shall see.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Matt, thank you obviously for joining us. We should say next week is going to be a little bit different. I am not in the country, so I think we're both going to probably just you're busy with work, so I think we're just both going to do a quick 10-15 minutes to phone separate of each other, just with what happened in game week 10, what we decided to do, and then game week 11 planning. And I think you're away the week after. But luckily, that's international break, so we might be able to get together ahead of game week 12
Yeah,
when you get back.
I'm planning these breaks perfectly, you know. These
Honestly, the last one was international break. This one's into. I'm just a selfish guy. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to go away and miss 2 game weeks. So apologies for it to you and the listeners. But yeah, appreciate you, mate. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for the advice on wildcard versus transfers options as well. And yeah, best of luck
oh,
with whatever
my
you decide to do.
my pleasure. And yeah, good luck with the moves you're gonna make.
Thank you very much. And to you, the listener, thank you for joining us. Whatever you decide to do, let your arrows be green. We will look to catch up with you next week separately. But until then, all the very best.